The cold wind carried the sound of distant explosions as the young boy walked through the ruins of a place he once called home. His name was Aaron, though even that felt unfamiliar now. When war takes everything from you, your family, your childhood, your safety, it leaves behind only questions, and Aaron had more questions than answers. He was a child of war, shaped more by survival than by any memory of peace. Aaron had been found years ago wandering alone near a shattered village. Soldiers took him in, not out of compassion but necessity. The army needed more hands, more bodies, more minds to mold into weapons. He was taught to run before he learned to read, trained to aim a rifle before he ever learned to dream. And in that harsh world, obedience meant survival. He followed orders not because he believed in them, but because he had no other path. Despite the heaviness inside him, Aaron often wondered about the life he had lost. The memories came like fragments, broken pieces of a puzzle he could never complete. A woman humming a lullaby, warm hands on his shoulders, a small clay toy shaped like a bird. But the more he tried to remember, the further those memories drifted away, lost in the haze of fear and noise that defined his days. One evening, after a long march, the battalion stopped near an abandoned school. Dust-covered desks were scattered like fallen soldiers, and on one wall, a faded drawing of a sun still clung to the plaster. Aaron stared at it for a long moment. The sun in the drawing had a smiling face, a face untouched by pain or loss. It looked like a world he could barely imagine, a world that might have existed before the war took everything from him. As night fell, Aaron lay awake listening to the whispers of older soldiers around him. Some spoke of home, of the families waiting for them. Others spoke of the future, of plans they hoped would survive the war. Aaron had none of these things. For him, the future was a blank, uncertain space. He wondered if someone like him, shaped by violence and fear, could ever find a place to belong. The next morning brought chaos. The battalion was ambushed as they moved through a narrow valley. Shouts echoed off the rocky walls, bullets slicing through the cold air. Aaron found himself running, not toward the fight, but away from it. His heart pounded in his chest, louder than the explosions around him. He wasn't afraid of death. He had seen it too many times to fear it, but he was afraid of becoming something he didn't choose to be. As he escaped deeper into the forest, the sounds of battle began to fade. For the first time in years, there was silence. Aaron stopped near a stream, the water clear and still. He looked at his reflection, muddy, frightened, scarred, and he barely recognized the child looking back. Was he a soldier, an orphan, a survivor, or something else entirely? He followed the stream for hours until he reached a small village, untouched by the war's flames. Children played near the riverbank, laughing and chasing each other. Their joy felt like sunlight breaking through dark clouds. When one of the children spotted him, the laughter stopped. They stared at him, this dirty, exhausted boy, with fear in his eyes and a soldier's weapon on his back. A woman stepped forward, her expression cautious but gentle. She asked him his name, and for the first time in a long while he hesitated. Saying his name felt like admitting he existed beyond the battlefield. Aaron, he finally whispered. The woman nodded and offered him food. Her kindness felt unfamiliar, almost unreal. As he ate, he watched the children play again, their voices carrying through the air like music. Something stirred inside him, something he thought had died long ago. But peace was fragile, always threatened by the distant thunder of war. Not long after, soldiers passed near the village. Aaron froze, unsure whether to hide or run. The villagers sensed his fear and shielded him, pretending he was one of their own. Their protection was a simple act of courage, yet it meant everything to him. That night, sitting by the fire, Aaron made a decision. He would not return to the battlefield. He would not be a weapon shaped by others. He would search for a new identity, one built from hope instead of fear. He didn't know what that journey would look like or how long it would take, but he knew he wanted to walk it. The villagers helped him wash the dirt and pain from his face. They gave him clean clothes, warm food, and a place to rest. For the first time in years, he slept without the sound of gunfire echoing in his dreams. When he awoke, he felt lighter, as though some invisible weight had finally begun to lift. Aaron spent the following days helping the villagers repairing fences, fetching water, learning their songs and stories. Slowly, the emptiness inside him began to fill. He still carried scars, both visible and hidden, but now he carried something else too, a sense of belonging. Yet deep inside, he knew that finding a home was only the beginning. He needed to understand who he was beyond survival. He needed to reclaim the memories war tried to erase, and he needed to believe that even a child of war could rebuild a life worth living. As the sun set over the quiet village, painting the sky in shades of gold and amber, Aaron stood by the river and watched his reflection once more. This time he saw not a soldier, not a lost orphan, but a boy with a future, a boy searching for a place where he truly belonged, a boy who had finally taken the first step toward peace.